Okay, let's talk about the spine aspect of the pre-fitness event and what all we tested. So let's talk about the spine. We've already talked about stability, and we definitely want to create a lot of stability in our core, remembering that the core is both the front and the back. And when you contract it, you should be able to contract all four corners or 360 degrees around your spine in order to protect it. So, but the spine also needs to be mobile from the neck all the way down to the tailbone. And the spine has several different motions it should be able to do, and we will run through those here as we go through the video. So let's first talk about the neck or the cervical spine. So the cervical spine, we tested chin down and chin up, right? What was our stats, or how many people could not meet the minimum with chin down?
So we did it together. So in total, 87% of our participants were unable to bring our chin about an inch from our chest or down to the chest, or extend up so that the chin and forehead are parallel.
Okay, so how many what's the percent?
87%.
87% of people couldn't meet at least one of those. Did we include rotation in that as well?
Yep.
Okay, so we also did rotation. So rotation of the chin should get to about 80 degrees from side to side. And Caitlin beats me on this one. So turn that way, Caitlin. And then can you turn your chin to your shoulder? Okay, she's pretty darn close. So she's about 80 degrees. So those are we didn't test lateral bend of the spine or the cervical spine, but to think about what can you do if you were unable to meet those ranges of motion, what can you do? And the most important thing you can do is use that skill. We don't do as much mobility with our spine anymore. Everything we have is right in front of us, and even when we're driving cars, we don't have to look behind us like we used to. We've got all kinds of fancy mirrors all over our cars that we just have to glance over here and we can see so much, or glance in our rearview mirror. With a lot of newer cars have different kinds of mirrors within the mirrors in order to help us see that greater range of motion, and we just don't have to turn, so we don't have to use it. So if we want our spine and our neck to feel better, we know the research tells us when we use a joint through its greatest range of motion, it's going to be healthier. So taking your cervical spine through that range of motion and gently pressing into those end ranges of motions, relaxing the shoulder, breathing, and just holding it, but always staying in a pain-free range of motion. So tucking the chin and holding that, feeling that lengthening sensation in the back of your neck, or tipping the chin up and feeling that lengthening sensation through the front of your neck and your chest. Another little mobility movement that I really like for the neck is tipping to one side and holding it in, just letting gravity hold the head, and then kind of doing a big yes motion, shaking your head up and down, nice and slow, feeling that end range in that mobility. And then also doing a little no back and forth in that end range, nice and slow, feeling all the motion of the joints in there. And this is my tight side over there. And then doing the same thing on the other side. So again, it's not about intensity, it's not about being aggressive, it's just about consistency and being gentle with your body over time. Okay, so let's take the rest of the spine. Let's do rotation first. So the spine should be able to rotate, okay, from side to side. It should be able to bend forward. It should be able to bend backward. And it should be able to bend side to side. We did not test that one. But go ahead, and I'm gonna have Caitlin face the other way and put the dowel stick on her shoulders like we tested. So the feet stay still and point forward. And then we asked you to rotate first the hips and then the shoulders to see how far you could get. And what we're looking for is, could you get past a 90 degree? Because we're looking for 100 degrees of range of motion. You can see that Caitlin does really well here. So thinking about, can you get about 50 degrees range of motion with your hips, 50 degrees range of motion with your shoulder. And I think when Kim was testing everybody, she wrote down what she estimated your range to be in each, and you can look at that on your sheet. So go ahead and turn the other way, Caitlin, and see if it's about the same. The other thing we're looking for is symmetry, and do you have about the same range of motion from side to side? Do you think you can get a little bit farther this way?
A little bit.
She's a little bit more, she has a little more flexibility in this direction, so she might want to work on her flexibility in the other direction to maintain that symmetry in her body. Thank you. So that rotation through your spine is important because we use that in day-to-day activities when we're picking things up and reaching for things. We want that mobility in the spine.
So,
Next.
do you want me to go over the results?
Oh, yeah.
So, as a result for that rotation, 39% of our participants couldn't do either that past that 90 degrees or a little bit more in either the hips and with the shoulders with that 50 degrees and 40 degrees.
Okay, so most people did pretty well with this one, so that's wonderful. Okay, so the next one is the forward bending of the spine, and what percentage of our participants could not meet that minimum criteria?
96, this is our
Okay.
highest.
Okay, that's a lot. So I'll have Kaiten do a forward bend, and I'll kind of show you what we're looking for. So we should be able to see a nice, even forward movement or forward roundedness through the spine, rather than sort of demonstrate a flatten or where. So some of you would just see it was really flat through one part, and it might be the lower spine, it might be the thoracic spine, or it might have been a little bit higher. Go ahead and come back up, Caitlin. So if you had anywhere that was really flat, that is a stuck area of your spine. And if you're curious in that about yourself, maybe do that forward bend and have someone take a picture so that you can look at it. And if you're a client of ours, we can certainly do that when you come in and give you a little more detail. So one way to work on that is do your forward bends. Do forward bends in different positions, sitting, standing, so you get that stretch through your body when your hips are in different positions and your shoulders are in different positions. And then the next was the extension or the backwards bending of the spine. So we need that when we're reaching higher as well to put our back in that extension. And what percentage of the people?
65.
65 did not meet the minimum criteria for that. And again, we're looking for a nice roundedness in the spine. So as Caitlin does this, we want the ears to stay in line with the shoulders. And as she bends back, the hips should naturally come a little bit forward to counterbalance what's going behind that plumb line that I talk about a lot. And then a nice roundedness through the whole spine, not stuck anywhere. So again, if you're not sure if you can do that, well, depending on your results on your sheet, but you're not sure where your body is stuck, do it, have somebody take a picture, and then again, work on that. And you can do that in different positions, and sitting, kneeling, standing, just to get different kinds of stretches into your body. Did we cover everything?
I think that's it.
Okay, all right, I hope this was helpful, and remember that it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. Just be consistent with your body, consistent with your stretches. Pick one area of the body or two to work on at a time, and just be consistent for a while, and you will see progress.